In February last year, the coronavirus disease discovered in 2019 gave us a new word, COVID-19. But even as COVID-19 took hold of our planet, even as this new word took over our lives, we found ourselves talking about other words, too, about words that weren't new at all. Sacrifice and solidarity, compassion and community. When the pandemic hit last year, these words, words that have defined Canadians for generations, were suddenly given new meaning. It has been a tough year, a heartbreaking year, but it has been a year that we have faced together, and that is something we must never forget. Mr. Speaker, on this National Day of Observance for COVID-19, we remember the people we've lost. Grandparents and parents, brothers and sisters, friends and colleagues. Each one was loved. Each one was special. Monsieur le Président, la pandémie a officiellement un an. Le 11 mars 2020 marquera toujours un avant et un après. Pour les familles et pour les proches, chaque décès a aussi un avant et un après. Aujourd'hui, on se souvient des personnes qui ont perdu la vie à cause de la COVID-19. Ils ne sont plus avec nous, mais ils restent dans notre mémoire. Depuis les grandes guerres du XXe siècle, il y a une phrase qu'on évoque souvent. C'est une phrase qu'on peut ramener pour ceux qu'on a perdus cette année au cours de la pandémie. Nous nous souviendrons d'eux. We will remember them. Mr. Speaker, a year ago, Canadians were asked to stay home and stay safe. And yet, even apart, or perhaps because we were apart, our communities became stronger and stronger. Businesses stepped up to produce PPE when we needed it most. Some went from making hockey masks to face shields. It doesn't get more Canadian than that. Students and teachers learned how to do school online, and kids did the dishes while they were doing their homework. Young people across the country stepped up to help their neighbors, to serve their communities. Essential workers made sure the shelves were still stocked with food. People cheered from balconies in solidarity with healthcare workers, the heroes of this pandemic. Brave women and men in the armed forces answered the call of duty for Indigenous communities and for the greatest generation now in long-term care homes. They were there for our parents and grandparents. And through that service, we saw clearly that for every senior in Canada, we must do better. And I know that we will. Malgré tout, il y a de l'espoir à l'horizon. La vaccination est en mode accélération. Il y a des millions de doses qui s'en viennent. C'est surtout pas le temps de lâcher. Monsieur le Président, pendant que la population continue de faire des efforts, je sais qu'ils sont rassurés quand ils voient tous leurs leaders travailler ensemble, au-delà des lignes de parti, au-delà des paliers de gouvernement. On est en train de vivre une crise sans précédent. Ça va prendre le talent, le savoir-faire et les idées de tous les Canadiens pour écrire la suite ensemble. On ne pourra pas rebâtir une économie équitable pour tout le monde si on est divisé. On ne pourra pas développer de grands projets de société si on refuse de s'écouter les uns les autres. Pendant la dernière année, on a travaillé ensemble pour s'en sortir et cette année, on va continuer de travailler ensemble pour rebâtir. Compassion and community. Sacrifice and solidarity. This is where we find meaning in the depths of grief. This is our light through a dark time. Every Canadian we lost to this virus will be remembered. every shift done by a frontline nurse, every mask made by a Canadian worker will not be forgotten. We are stronger together, today, tomorrow, and always. Merci, Monsieur le Président.